Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're starting a brand new series where I rewrite stories from popular culture and tell what I think the author did wrong and how I would do it differently if I was going to rewrite it. And today we are rewriting the Twilight Series, the series that everybody loves to hate. So in my view, the biggest problem with the Twilight series is obviously the love triangle, which, as we all know, is not a love triangle because Bella continuously says that she isn't interested in Jacob, that she'll always love Edward, and she never had feelings for Jacob. So it's not really a love triangle. All this does is it turns Jacob into a simp, which is always a bad idea. And you can see exactly the same problem in the Hunger Games. The original draft of the Hunger Games, Katniss never had feelings for Gale. There was never going to be a love triangle. Gale never had feelings for her either. They were just friends, and they were both involved in this conflict. And the publishers made the author change it so that Gale had feelings for her and got all jealous of Peeta, and that was supposed to create a love triangle, which it didn't. So the first thing we need to change about the Twilight series is to get rid of this love triangle. And actually, if you think about it, the first book works way better without the love triangle. Before Bella ever finds out that Jacob has feelings for her, if we're just erasing that from the timeline entirely, the story actually works really well because Jacob had all the reason in the world to object to Bella getting involved with Edward. In the first place, because Jacob knew that Edward would not be able to resist biting her and, in essence, killing her and turning her into a vampire, which she's his friend, so of course he doesn't want that. And number two, because if he did, it would destroy the peace treaty between the vampires and the werewolves. So Jacob had all the reason in the world to tell her this is a bad idea and to get hostile towards Edward and to tell him to back off. So that part of the story still works, even when he doesn't have feelings for her. It actually works much better. If you take out all of the teenage angst from the Twilight series, if you just turn the three of them into intelligent, reasonable, rational, sensible people who could actually think and make decisions, it actually works much better than to have them be these angsty, idiotic teenagers who are just frozen by love for each other. Anyways, I won't rant about that. Then we get into book 2. So everything else about book 1 would be the same. Bella gets involved with Edward. They have this torrid romance or whatever you want to call it, and then at the end of the book he leaves her completely destitute. And then in book 2, starts off, she's depressed, and Jacob, who's her friend, gets her out of it and brings her around and helps her start living again. And then this is where we're going to start to change things. So if I was writing this series, what I would do is I would have Bella and Jacob get together and they become a couple, and they're rock solid. They become a power couple. And she becomes part of the whole werewolf clan and gets involved in their side of the war against the vampires because she actually has a stake in it now. And they rise in the ranks and eventually get to the point where they become leaders of the werewolf army. And then Edward comes back to town as the leader of the vampires. And he's their main antagonist. But he's still broken up because he still wants to get together with Bella, but now she's married to Jacob and they're having kids who are growing up and becoming powerful werewolf warriors as well. So he's torn about waging war against the werewolves because he's still in love with Bella. And then the way to resolve this is for Bella to leverage her former relationship with him and to form an alliance with him, not as a couple, not as any kind of love triangle. She's still solid in her relationship with Jacob, and she has come to the conclusion that Edward leaving was the best thing that ever happened to her, that Jacob really was the guy for her, and they have a fantastic relationship. They're surrounded by family, they're solid in their clan, and they are solid in their mission, which is to defeat the vampires. And so she leverages her relationship with him, and they form an alliance to take out the bad vampires and bring peace between the two clans again. So that's how I would rewrite the Twilight series. Just a little short video, a little bit of fun, talk about some stories, hate on series that we all hate on. So we'll see you next week and we'll do it all again. Bye.